We have to reframe what failure is. Failure is the tuition we pay for success. So this video, I wanted to talk about failure because failure is something that I struggle with. I guess more specifically, the fear of failure. And I was supposed to upload this video on Thursday, but it's already Thursday night. So I already failed at trying to release a video every week, but hopefully this gets done for Friday. So I don't know what it was, just writing this was just really difficult, and I'm not exactly sure if it was just because I wanted everything that I said to just come out really elegantly or perfectly, and so that everybody can understand, because I just know everybody struggles with failure. I just want to start off by saying I failed in a lot of things. I failed in my friendships. I've had a lot of initiatives and projects just not work out the way that I wanted them to. I didn't even finish university, and I don't think I've ever really told someone that or told them up front. Anyways, it's a topic that I tend to avoid, but yeah, I failed in a lot of things, and for a long time, failure defined who I was, or I guess in my head, that's how I defined myself. And because of my long list of failures, I didn't have any motivation to start my own business, or at least put my full effort into starting my own business, because I was just so afraid to fail. I said to myself, well, I failed a lot already, so if I put my full effort into this and this fails, what does that say about me? So my fear of failure caused me to be a procrastinator and a perfectionist that was just incapable of action. I was afraid of what other people might say, or just letting down the people that care for me the most. There are so many videos and projects I didn't finish just because I didn't think it was good enough. And I even turned down paid jobs just because I thought I wouldn't be able to produce the results that people wanted, even though I had done this all before and I knew how to do it. And I always look back and I just think to myself, if only I had started this sooner, I'd be so much more far ahead. But it was a direct result of my fear of failure that has kept me stagnant for a really, really long time. So maybe some of you have felt the way that I felt when it comes to being afraid of failure. And the question I had to ask myself was, how do I overcome this? Can I change my mindset when it comes to failure? And I did like a lot of reading different articles and listening to motivational speakers, and just, I guess, through my experience, I just realized that I had to reframe and retrain the way that I saw failure. So maybe it was failing a high school test, or maybe even a course in high school, or maybe you just messed up in front of a large amount of people, or maybe it's just how our culture today views winners and losers. But somewhere along the way, we just said to ourselves, failure is not an option. We have to reframe what failure is. There's a quote from Walter Burnell that says, failure is the tuition we pay for success. If you want to be good at something, you have to start by failing. You're not going to be good starting something. And when you think about it, we don't fear what we know how to do. We fear not doing something right the first time, even though we've never done it before. So every time we fail, we can learn. Every time we mess up, it's just another growing opportunity. And we need to start to see failure as a teacher, or just a stepping stone to where we want to be. After finishing a job or a project, I'll look back and think to myself, is there anything I could have done better? Or if I messed up on something, then I know for next time not to do that. So I just treat it as a learning experience. When we reframe failure in our minds, then we can retrain ourselves. So I know the sting of failure, and I hate the feeling of messing up, and it definitely feels worse when I let down other people when I mess up. So if you can, find a way to fail small. Try to contain it. And instead of avoiding failure, try to change your mindset and ask yourself, how can I fail today? Or if it's at the end of the day, how did I fail today? Get used to the fact that failure is just a natural part of the growth cycle. Over time, as you grow from your failures, you're going to be able to take bigger risks, and you're going to see your confidence grow as you start succeeding. We have to get used to failure, and we have to retrain how failure affects us. One of the biggest videos that helped me rethink the way that I view failure is the Tim Ferris TED Talk on Stoicism. So I just want to share with you guys an exercise from that talk. So grab a pen or a piece of paper, pause this video if you need to, or you can just do this in the comments below. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna write down something that you've really wanted to do for a long time and you haven't done it before. So for me, that would be starting a business. After that, write down what fears you have when it comes to actually doing that thing. So for me, I would say my fears were I did not know anything about videography or filmmaking, and I have no business background and I have no contacts. So the next thing that you're going to write down is what can you do to either prevent these fears from happening or mitigate them. I have to put in the hours to learn how to be a videographer. I have to spend time networking with people. I even have to learn more about business if I needed to. After that, write down what would happen if you actually succeeded once you started doing that thing that you want to do that you haven't done yet. So for me, if I succeeded at starting a new business, well, then I'd be able to provide for my family and I'd be able to do something that I enjoy doing. And then I want you to write down what would happen if you decide to do nothing. You don't act at all. You decide, hey, I'm not going to follow through with this. So for me, if I don't start my business, well, I dropped out of university, so like what would I do? I'd probably be doing something that I wouldn't want to do. I probably would have a lot of like mental health like problems. So it just wouldn't be good. So when you're done, visualize what will happen if you chose to do nothing and hold that up against what will happen if you actually succeeded in doing that thing that you wanted to do. Mental health decline, not doing what I wanted to do, probably regretting this for the rest of my life, versus being able to support my family and doing something that I enjoy and I would probably feel fulfillment doing it. That to me shows that inaction is not an option. So my question would be to you guys, what would inaction cost you? I hope that's something that can help you guys, or at least get the gears rolling inside your brain to reframe failure. But if you have time, definitely watch that video on Stoicism. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. So I know overcoming failure is not easy, and reframing and retraining our mindset about failure is going to take a longer period of time, but we're all on this journey together. If you do, write in the comments what it is that you want to do and what your fears are. I will for sure respond to that, but I know that you guys can do it. And until next time, that's a wrap.